One signature presentation can have you booked for years if you build it right. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Jared Scott. I am a professional speaker that has booked over 1,000 paid speaking gigs in my career. So today we are talking about creating a signature presentation, one that gets you booked over and over and over and over and over and over again. I've been coaching speakers for years, and the thing about speakers is they are creatives. They want to do one thing. They want to create. They're not very organized, they're not very structured, so they usually struggle with the business side of speaking. And all they really want to do is be on a stage and do what they love to do. With that being said, a lot of the time speakers do not stick to one signature presentation, and that actually hurts them. They want to create a new one for every single client because they love creating, and they're getting tired of saying the same things over and over and over again. But they're also tired of their bank account being empty over and over and over again. So at the end of the day, I think to be a great speaker, you have to have a signature talk. It's like wanting to be a music artist, but having 0 hit songs. You still need your songs that are on the charts, the ones that everybody knows you by. And of course, you can have multiple of those, but you didn't write them all at the same time. You started with 1 hit song. That's what we're trying to do as a speaker, trying to create 1 hit presentation that you could build a career off of. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel over and over and over again just because you want to create and you're addicted to being creative. I get it, you're creative, but you have to have structure if you are going to run a business. The best speakers, aka the ones that get consistently booked, they build a clear, refined, scalable signature talk. So that is what we're going to talk about today in this video. I'm giving you 3 beats, 3 tips, 3 sections, 3 whatever, you know how it's structured. 3 things that you can do to build a signature presentation. Number 1, identify the story that changed you. Every signature talk starts with a story, but not just any story. This is the story of transformation. Ask yourself, what specific story in my life made my message what it is today? What is the story that keeps you up at night because you know that the world needs to hear it? That's your emotional anchor. That's the hook that drives people in. Once you find that story, then I need you to find the universal truth that is within it. The truth that is true for anyone who hears this story. Doesn't matter their age, doesn't matter their background. It's meta truth. It is more than true. It's the precursor to truth itself. It is deep, my friend. You have to find that within your story. Once you find the universal truth, then you build a structure around it. The structure that I use to write every keynote is the same, and it's very simple. It's the struggle, the shift, and the solution. Those are your 3 body paragraphs in your presentation. If you go deep into the struggle, bring people there emotionally, and then take them to the shift, the moment that your life changed, and then give them the solution, which is how they can do the same thing too. And if you do this correctly, that will make your message more than motivational. It'll make it true. It'll make it real. And in the end, authenticity always wins. All right, moving on. Number 2, build around a repeatable framework. So earlier I talked about the struggle, the shift, and the solution. That's your structure for writing, but you need a structure for the audience, which we call a framework. A framework is a guide or a set of principles, and the framework is going to be according to your brand. So for example, I have the Culture Shift Tour. So I have an acronym for the word shift. Speak, hear, identify, focus, take action. Now, of course, it's much deeper than that. Speak out means to tell your story, tell your truth. People can't help you if they don't know what you need help with. That's a part of the struggle part of my story. I talk about being a shy kid, suffering in silence. It wasn't until I spoke out that I was able to get help. The H stands for hear others, because if you're not listening to other people, how are you going to help them, number 1, but also how are you going to accept help from them? If you're not listening, then obviously you're not hearing the advice that could change your life. The I is for identifying the opportunities, and here we talk about turning problems to opportunities, shifting our perspective. Most people would say identify the problem to find the solution, but I say that problems are opportunities, so we say identify the opportunity. And then the next is the F, which is focus on the outcome. I believe a visionary is someone who sees beyond their current circumstances and lives mentally in the outcome, so that is the F, to focus on the outcome. And then the T is to take action. Action is evidence that you have what it takes to be the person you say you want to be. So we can talk about this all day long, but if you don't take action and change something, then nothing will change. So you see how easy it was for me to explain in about 60 seconds what I'm talking about when I say a shift in your school, a shift in your company, a shift in your life. When I talk about my framework, the shift, I can talk about it fast, clear, and direct. So basically what I'm saying is a framework makes your talk easy to remember, and if it's easy to remember, then it's easy to refer. Moving on. Number 3, design your presentation for retention and engagement. Now that you have your core story identified, you have the universal truth, you created a framework around that, now it's time to go back and kind of plug in engagement retention moments, things that are crowd movers, things that make people lean in or take notes, right? And this depends on your audience. If you speak in education like me, there doesn't need to be more than 2 minutes that you're not changing a slide, putting up a picture, a video, playing music, having a crowd engagement activity. Something needs to happen every 2, 3, 4 minutes, 5 max, really. The attention span of these kids is so short that you're gonna lose them if you're just standing up on a stage talking. Nobody wants to hear a talk. Nobody wants to hear a lecture. People want to hear a presentation because a presentation is presentable. So this is the point where you turn your talk into a presentation by putting in engagement retention moments. So you have to ask yourself, where will I pause and let something land? I'm not just going to be talking 100 miles per hour. There has to be moments that are really important to me. And in those moments, I need to let the audience breathe and digest what I'm saying. So in your script, I would actually write out those moments. Put a pause after you say something important. Then ask yourself, where should I involve the audience? Because there are awkward moments to involve an audience. You might be in the middle of a very deep story that needs to have momentum behind it, and then you ask a question and somebody says something way out in right field, right? So you need to know when the right time to ask the audience a question is. And here's a speaker tip. Don't give them the mic. You hold the mic. If they have the mic, they have control. You hold the mic. They say something crazy, you yank the mic. Give me that mic back. And the next thing you could ask is, where can I build rhythm? There are parts in my presentation that I use music because it really helps with the mood and the tone of the moment. And I use it up to a climax, up to a point where I have people standing by the end of the song. So maybe there's moments that you could use music as well. And even if you don't use music, you can use your pace and your tone to create this rhythm in your presentation. And I would actually write that into your script, into your notes, so that way you can practice it this way. And as always, you want to end your presentation with a very clear call to action. What do you want them to do? What's the next steps? What do you want ringing in their head when they leave your presentation? You're not here to just inspire. You are here to activate. I've learned in my career that if you really want someone to take action, then you have to tell them which actions to take. It's as simple as that. So make sure that that is clear at the end of your presentation so you're not just like every other speaker, and you build an audience. You build a following. You build a reputation that's repeatable and referable. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this, then I think you are the type of person that will enjoy being a part of our boardroom community within Speakhyve. We're giving the tools, the softwares, the resources, the coaching, everything that you need to run a speaking business. A lot of speakers are great at speaking, but they're terrible at the business side of speaking. That is where we come in at Speakhyve. If you're interested in having someone do that for you, then just click the link below and we will take care of everything, and we will get leads flowing into your inbox every single day. No cap. Well, sometimes not Saturdays or Sundays, but Monday through Friday. Yeah.